Chosen one, the battle that felt endless is now trembling before the command of heaven. The weight you thought would crush you forever is being lifted, not by chance, but by decree. God himself has stepped into the courtroom of eternity and declared, "This trial is finished. Every chain that whispered permanence is breaking in this very moment. You are not watching this by coincidence. The Spirit of God drew you here because it is time for a divine exchange. Your pain is becoming purpose. Your struggle is transforming into testimony. Your pressure is turning into promotion. What you thought was the end of your strength was actually the doorway to your new authority. And this is only the beginning." Before we continue deeper into this prophetic revelation, pause for just a moment. Press the like button as a declaration of faith. Subscribe if you haven't yet so you don't miss the words heaven has reserved for you. And comment 99 below as a spiritual sign that you are stepping out of the old cycle and into divine completion. For 9 is the number of birthing, and today you are birthing your breakthrough. Chosen one, every tear you cried in silence, every sleepless night when your mind was torn between hope and despair, every single moment when you felt your soul fracture under the unbearable weight, none of it was abandonment. Heaven was not ignoring you. God was not silent because he forgot you. He was silent because he was sculpting you. Your wilderness was not a grave, it was a training ground. What you mistook as punishment was actually a holy preparation. You see, the intensity of the pressure was not a sign of rejection. It was the evidence that you were being entrusted with something far heavier than what your current strength could hold. God was stretching you, shaping you, expanding the very capacity of your spirit. He was enlarging your spiritual lungs so you could breathe in a new atmosphere, an air that your old self would not have survived. Think about this. When a seed is planted in the dark, pressed beneath layers of dirt, it might feel buried, forgotten, suffocated. But what the seed cannot see is that the pressure is forcing it to break open, to release the life hidden within. That was you. Every time you whispered, "I cannot take another step," the heavens whispered back, "You are closer to becoming who you truly are." What felt like breaking was, in reality, building. Every time your knees buckled, the foundation beneath you was being dug deeper. Every time your strength failed, new strength was being installed in your spirit. The test was never about proving your weakness. It was about proving the strength of the one inside you. The fire you endured was not designed to destroy you, but to burn away the parts of you that could not walk into the promise. The storm that threatened to drown you was the same storm that cleansed you of every weight you could not carry into the new season. Your pain was not wasted. It was converted into authority. Your scars are not evidence of defeat. They are the credentials of a warrior chosen by God. And here is the mystery you must not overlook. What you thought was the enemy's attempt to end you was actually heaven's strategy to prepare you. God allowed you to be pressed because promotion always demands capacity. Just as a skyscraper requires a foundation dug deep into the earth, your destiny required roots so strong that no storm could topple you. Without the trial, your blessing would have crushed you. With the trial, your blessing will now be sustained. This is why the silence was so loud. This is why the waiting felt eternal. Because God was not in a hurry to release something fragile over you. He was determined to build something unshakable within you. And now, chosen one, the training is complete. The hammering has stopped. The furnace has cooled. You are standing as refined gold, ready to carry the weight of divine favor. But here is the tension. What comes next will not resemble what you endured. The night you thought would last forever is cracking open to reveal a dawn so radiant that even your enemies will be silenced by the brilliance of your rising. And while you may think this was the end of the story, it is only the prologue. For what heaven is about to reveal next will not only explain the pain, it will justify the years you thought were lost. Stay here, chosen one, because the revelation waiting in the next breath will shatter the last illusion of your defeat. Chosen one, listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you carries the weight of eternity. Right now, not tomorrow, not months from now. Right now, in the unseen courts of heaven, the verdict has been issued. The gavel has struck. The case is closed. The enemy's accusations, those relentless whispers that tried to convince you that you would never escape, that you would never rise, that you would never breathe free again, have been silenced by the voice of the Almighty Judge. Heaven has spoken, and its decree cannot be overturned. Your trial has reached its conclusion, and the sentence is not more suffering, not more wandering, not more delay. The sentence is freedom. The chains that bound you are not simply weakened. They are shattered beyond repair. What once enslaved you has no legal right to your life any longer. For years, perhaps, you lived in the suffocating realm of almost healed, almost free, almost at breakthrough. It was as if you stood at the edge of the promised land, seeing the door, feeling the breeze, but never quite able to step through. That was the cruel design of the enemy, to keep you trapped in perpetual waiting, to make you believe the almost was your permanent home. But heaven has issued a correction, a divine reversal, and today the season of almost has expired. You are stepping into the season of already delivered, already restored, already promoted, already crowned with favor. You might ask, how can this be? I still feel the residue of the struggle. But understand this, verdicts in heaven are always established before the evidence appears on earth. Faith is not waiting for proof. It is walking in the verdict that has already been signed. While your natural eyes may still see fragments of the storm, your spirit must recognize that the storm has no authority to remain. The decree is greater than the delay. The promise outweighs the process. And here is a secret that the enemy never wanted you to uncover. His accusations were not simply meant to torment you. They were meant to delay your manifestation. He thrives on technicalities, hoping you would agree with his lies long enough to forfeit your inheritance. But when the judge speaks, every false charge collapses. Every demonic contract is void. Every chain forged in the fire of fear snaps under the fire of divine justice. You are no longer waiting for a release. It has already been signed in your favor. This is why you feel a shift in the atmosphere around you, even if you cannot fully explain it. It is the weight of chains falling. It is the sound of gates opening. It is the vibration of destiny realigning itself with your life. What you endured was not the final chapter. It was the courtroom drama before the victory announcement. And the heavens are declaring, with authority that shakes the earth, the trial is over. But I must warn you, chosen one, what happens after a verdict is always contested. The enemy, though defeated, will attempt to trick you into believing nothing has changed. He will try to convince you that the sentence of freedom was an illusion, that you are still the same person carrying the same burdens. But you must resist. You must rise with the conviction that the case has been dismissed. Your name has been cleared. Your record has been wiped clean by the blood that speaks louder than every accusation. From this moment forward, do not call yourself bound. Do not call yourself stuck. Do not rehearse the identity of a prisoner when heaven has already written the title of conqueror over you. You are not in chains anymore. You are not in limbo anymore. You are not living in almost anymore. You are walking in the already, even if your feet are only just touching the edge of it. Every step you take is proof that the verdict is manifesting in real time. And here is where the mystery deepens. The trial was not only ended for you, but through you. Your release is setting others free. Your testimony will carry the keys that unlock cages in people you have never even met. What God decreed over your life will ripple across generations. You thought the trial was just about you, but the verdict is about legacy. So stand tall, chosen one. Breathe differently, speak differently, move differently. The heavens are watching to see if you will live like one who is still on trial, or like one who has already been vindicated. For the truth is this: the trial is not only over, it has been erased. And what comes next will be so startling, so unexplainable, that even those who doubted you will not be able to deny the evidence of divine intervention. And yet, as powerful as this verdict is, the story is not complete, because what heaven declares must now collide with what earth will witness. And in the very next revelation, you will see why the lies that once surrounded you are now collapsing under the weight of truth. Stay here, chosen one. The most dangerous illusion of the enemy is about to be exposed. Chosen one, the greatest danger you faced was not the weight of the trial itself, but the whispers that came in the night. Those insidious voices that told you, you will always suffer, you will never overcome. This desert will never end. Those were not divine warnings. They were venomous lies designed to suffocate your faith before your breakthrough could manifest. The enemy knew he could not destroy what God had ordained, so he tried to corrupt your perception of it. If he could convince you that your trial was permanent, you would stop walking toward the promise that was already written in your name. But hear this truth now and let it echo in your soul. The desert you walked through was not evidence of abandonment, it was evidence of strategy. Heaven is too intentional to forget you. The silence you experienced was not neglect, it was design. God was not absent. He was working in stealth, deepening your roots where no eye could see, ensuring that when the storm ended, you would not merely survive, you would flourish. A tree that stands tall in the winds must first send its roots deeper than the soil that surrounds it. And that is exactly what God was doing with you in the hidden seasons. What felt like delay was actually preparation. What felt like rejection was actually promotion in disguise. The enemy tried to convince you that your long season of struggle was proof you had been disqualified, overlooked, or forsaken. But in truth, every day that passed was heaven sharpening your discernment, refining your endurance, and sculpting your authority. If you had been released into your next season too soon, you would have walked in with shallow roots. But now, because of the depth that only pressure could carve, you are unshakable. The enemy lied to you because he saw what was being built in you, and he feared it. He whispered to you because your silence terrified him. He tried to cloak your desert as punishment, when in reality it was divine promotion. This is the revelation the darkness did not want you to uncover. What looked like restriction was actually redirection. Every door that slammed shut in your face was not God's cruelty, it was His protection. Every relationship that crumbled, every opportunity that dissolved, every plan that collapsed, was heaven's way of pulling you off roads that would have led to disaster. The lie said, God has left you behind. The truth is, God was running ahead of you, clearing the path you were about to walk. But lies are persuasive. They do not shout, they whisper. And those whispers often come at night, when you are weary, when your faith feels thin, when your soul aches with unanswered questions. Yet even in those hours, the truth was alive. The Spirit of God was interceding for you with groanings too deep for words, guarding your destiny even as the enemy tried to erode your confidence. You thought you were forgotten, but in reality, you were being hidden. And there is a difference. To be forgotten is to be discarded, but to be hidden is to be preserved until the right time. Now, the time has come for exposure, not yours, but the enemy's. His lies are collapsing under the weight of heaven's decree. What he swore would define you has been dismantled. What he tried to mark you with has been erased by divine fire. The narrative he wove around your life is unraveling thread by thread. And here is the mystery that should ignite fire in your spirit. Every lie that was told about you is about to become the stage upon which God reveals His truth. The very areas where the enemy mocked you, saying you would never rise, will be the very areas where God exalts you. Chosen one, you are standing on the threshold of vindication. The truth of God is about to shine so brightly that every false word spoken over your life will burn like paper in a furnace. The long desert was never the final story. It was the script of transformation. And now that the lies are exposed, the world will witness who you truly are. Not rejected, but chosen. Not abandoned, but appointed. Not overlooked, but anointed. But lean in, because this unveiling is not the conclusion. It is the opening act of something even greater. The lies falling away are making room for revelations that will shake the very ground beneath your feet. And in the next moment, you will see why some things were destined to die in the wilderness, so that you could step unbound into the promise that waits ahead. Chosen one, there is a truth that demands your full attention right now. Not everything that walked with you through the wilderness has the right to cross into your promise. The desert was never meant to be a place of permanence, but it was a place of separation. In the heat of that barren land, God allowed certain things to wither, certain relationships to collapse, certain mindsets to crack and fall apart. It hurt, yes, but it was holy surgery. Those attachments were not designed to survive where you are going. They serve their purpose in your survival, but they cannot sustain your destiny. What the desert killed was never meant to breathe in the atmosphere of your abundance. Understand this: survival mode was necessary when the storms raged and the nights felt endless. You learned how to endure with little, how to keep walking with nothing but faith in your pocket. But now, the season has shifted. You are not called to scrape by anymore. You are called to overflow. And survival thinking cannot inhabit the land of abundance. If you try to carry the old patterns into your promise, they will sabotage you. That scarcity mindset, always bracing for the next disaster, will keep you from receiving freely the rivers that God has already released in your direction. The hypervigilance that helped you survive in the desert will weigh you down in the promised land. You cannot soar while dragging the corpse of yesterday's fears. This is why some connections were severed without your consent. You asked God why people walked away, why doors closed, why opportunities dissolved, and heaven's response was simple: because they could not go where you were going. The wilderness exposed who was truly aligned with your destiny and who was only attached to your struggle. Do not grieve what God has buried. If it died in the desert, it was too weak to live in the promise. And if you try to resurrect it, it will rot the soil of your new season. But this goes deeper. It is not only about people or circumstances. It is about the posture of your own heart. Some of your old reflexes, even those that once felt like strengths, have to be surrendered. Distrust protected you in the wilderness, but it will poison you in the land of opportunity. Isolation kept you safe in the storm, but it will rob you of divine connections in the season of expansion. The desert taught you discipline, but the promise requires faith to receive what you did not earn. Can you feel it? God is asking you to release the weight of yesterday, so your hands can grasp the abundance of today. And here lies the holy urgency. If you try to cling to the old, you risk missing the new. The Israelites who left Egypt carried Egypt in their hearts, and it cost them their inheritance. They longed for the food of their bondage while standing on the edge of their freedom. You cannot afford to repeat their mistake. Do not drag slavery into your Canaan. Do not drag survival into your abundance. You are not meant to crawl anymore. You are meant to soar. Hear this clearly. Some things were not stolen from you. They were stripped off you. Some things were not lost. They were removed by divine hands. You did not fail when they died. Heaven intervened to ensure that death cleared space for new life. What was cut away in the wilderness was pruning, and pruning always precedes fruit. So do not look back with longing at what cannot be revived. Do not romanticize what once kept you alive but would now keep you small. The desert season is over. The tombs of yesterday are sealed. Your eyes must face forward, because the gates of the promise are opening. And yet, chosen one, there is one more revelation waiting, an unveiling that will show you not only why you had to release the old, but how to step into what has already been assigned to you with boldness you never thought possible. Stay here, because the next truth will shift the very way you walk into your destiny. Chosen one, hear this as if heaven itself is speaking directly into the marrow of your bones. This is not a suggestion. This is a divine summons. The hour of hesitation has expired, and the time of bold movement has begun. Stop rehearsing the script of pain. Stop replaying the chapters of loss. Stop reliving the echoes of nights that no longer belong to you. The wilderness is behind you. The trial is closed. The verdict has been sealed. Now the call of heaven is clear. Walk forward, not timidly, not cautiously, but boldly into the reality of your promise. Look closely at your life, and you will begin to notice what you once thought were closed gates are already unlocked. The doors that resisted you for years have quietly swung open, and the blessings you thought were far off have been sitting, waiting, reserved under your name in the vaults of eternity. The resources, the opportunities, the divine alignments, they are no longer in negotiation. They have been released. Heaven has written them into your story. Your task is not to beg for what is already yours. Your task is to claim it, to step into it, to embody it without fear, without apology, without shrinking. Do you realize how dangerous it is to stay still when the Spirit has declared movement? Faith was never meant to be a theory. It is emotion. A living, breathing action that demands your participation. When Peter stepped out of the boat, the waters did not become solid before his foot moved. The miracle was activated mid-step, and so it will be with you. The ground you fear may not even exist until you step onto it. The promise may not manifest until your courage collides with God's decree. That is why hesitation is costly. It delays the evidence of what heaven has already finished. But let me give you this mystery. Your boldness will not only change your future, it will rewrite the atmosphere around you. Creation itself responds to authority. When you move with the confidence of someone who knows the verdict is already, not almost, even the environment begins to bow. People notice, opportunities align, circumstances rearrange. The universe recognizes when a chosen one walks in the full weight of divine favor. You were never meant to tiptoe into destiny. You were meant to stride into it with the certainty of one who carries heaven's signature. And yes, the enemy will attempt one last deception. He will try to make you believe that the blessing requires your permission to be real. He will whisper, "Don't get your hopes up. It's too good to last." But those whispers are powerless against bold steps. Fear only has authority over the motionless. The moment you walk, fear loses its grip. The moment you claim, doubt collapses. The moment you declare, "This is mine because heaven has released it," the atmosphere shifts in your favor. But chosen one, boldness is not arrogance. Walking into your new season does not mean boasting in your own strength. It means carrying yourself with the posture of someone who knows whose hand is guiding them. Boldness is humility clothed in certainty. It is the recognition that what you carry did not come from you and therefore cannot be taken by anyone else. It is the quiet but unshakable confidence of one who has been appointed, anointed, and released. Do not miss this moment by overanalyzing it. Do not strangle the promise with hesitation. This is your season to activate, to sign the check heaven already deposited, to step into the room already prepared. You are not a guest. You are an heir. You are not a beggar. You are an inheritor. The only thing left between you and the manifestation is a single, unshakable step of faith. And here is the urgency you must not ignore. The window of opportunity is open now. Destiny does not wait for endless deliberation. The longer you stand still, the more you risk convincing yourself that already is still someday. Do not let the lie of delay rob you of today. Walk, speak, claim, move, act as if the blessing is already in motion, because it is. And just when you think this is the culmination, there is yet one final revelation. A conclusion so powerful, so transformative, that it will not only confirm everything you've heard so far, it will ignite a fire in your spirit that cannot be extinguished. Stay with me, chosen one, because the conclusion will not just end this word, it will mark the beginning of the rest of your destiny. Chosen one, lift your head and let this truth pierce the very core of your being. The trial that once felt like an endless sentence has been overturned by the voice of Almighty God. The nights that chained you, the weight that tried to bury you, the lies that attempted to convince you that you were forgotten, they have all been silenced by a single decree from heaven. The court of eternity has ruled in your favor. The test is finished. The suffering is terminated. The verdict is victory. From this moment forward, you are no longer marked by scars of defeat. You are crowned with the oil of divine favor. You will not walk as one surviving day by day, but as one carrying the fire of eternal purpose. The wilderness was not your grave. It was your proving ground. And now you emerge not fragile but unshakable, not empty, but overflowing, not broken, but blazing with glory. Chosen one, this is the hour where you must choose how you will walk. Do not step into tomorrow with yesterday's fears. Do not bow your head like a prisoner when heaven has called you a ruler. Stand tall, for the Spirit of God has written your name on doors no man can shut. Stand firm, for the blessing assigned to you cannot be stolen. Stand bold, for the trial was temporary, but the glory will be eternal. Declare it out loud. Let it echo into the atmosphere. My trial is over. My breakthrough is here. Seal it with faith. Seal it with courage. Seal it with the fire that burns in your chest right now. And as an act of prophetic agreement, type 777 in the comments. Let it be a sign to the heavens and a testimony to the earth that you are stepping into divine completion, into unstoppable abundance, into unshakable favor. This is not the end. This is the ignition. The test was the furnace. The trial was the refining. But now comes the revelation. Chosen one, go forth with fire in your eyes and destiny in your hands. The world will not forget what rises from this moment. The heavens are watching, the earth is waiting, and your time is now. Your trial is over. Your breakthrough is here. And nothing will ever be the same again.